Members and staff will be required to wear masks at all times in the hall of the House, except that members may remove their masks temporarily when recognized. The chair expects all members and staff to adhere to this requirement as a sign of respect for the health, safety, and well-being of others present in the chamber and surrounding areas. The chair would further inform members and staff that they will not be permitted to enter the hall of the House without wearing a mask. Masks will be available at the entry points for any member who forgets to bring one. The chair would also like to remind members that the Speaker has the authority to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to remove a member from the floor as a matter of decorum. To reiterate, the chair views the failure to wear a mask as a serious breach of decorum.
Members of the U.S. Congress who don't wear masks on the House floor could soon have to pay a fine. Recently elected Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Republican with Georgia's 14th district, has been among the most vocal against masks. She was seen in videos posted online refusing a mask from colleagues during the U.S. Capitol riot lockdown. 3 House Democrats say they tested positive for COVID after being in a secure room with Republicans who refused to wear masks. Greene sent a statement saying, in part, it is absolutely ridiculous and insane to blame those of us who did not have COVID or symptoms. She inaccurately said in the statement that healthy people cannot spread COVID. The CDC says, and has said for months, there are asymptomatic carriers. It would be a $500 fine for the first offense, $2,500 for the second for not wearing a mask, and the money will be deducted from the member's pay.
You can't discriminate against people simply because they won't wear a mask. And today, I refused to wear a mask on the House floor, and I received a warning from Speaker Pelosi that leads to fines if I continue to refuse to wear a mask. Well, here's what I think of your warning, Speaker Pelosi.
Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene hit with another fine for not wearing a mask. This is now the 4th time Greene has been fined for the same offense. She has racked up more than $15,000 in penalties because of her anti-mask stance. She tells NBC News, quote, "I will continue my stand on the House floor against authoritarian Democrat mandates because I don't want the American people to stand alone."
We are filing this federal lawsuit because our rights have been violated, and they violated the 27th Amendment by fining us for not wearing masks on the House floor. And the reason why we are doing this is because people all over this country are being segregated and discriminated against with masks and vaccines. And it's very important for us as members of Congress to stand up against this abuse so that people back at home can do the same thing.
The court rejected the Georgia Republican's case, trying to overturn the hefty fine she incurred for repeatedly refusing to wear a mask on the House floor during the pandemic. As The Hill notes, House rules fine lawmakers $500 for their first infraction with the mask mandate and $2,500 for subsequent breaches. The second one really hurts, to be withdrawn from their yearly pay. Greene racked up more than $100,000 in fines. That's a lot of times refusing to wear a mask. That is also well over half of her annual salary. So the Congresswoman and 2 of her colleagues, Thomas Massey of Kentucky and Ralph Norman of South Carolina, brought a lawsuit, of course they did, against then Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other House staffers. They argued basically that the fines amounted to an illegal reduction of their salary. They lost in front of the district court, again at the U.S. Court of Appeals, and now the Supreme Court has refused the case altogether.
Britain's Foreign Secretary David Cameron says that you should vote through funding for Ukraine. What do you say to that?
I think he tried to compare us to Hitler also. And if that's the kind of language he wants to use, I really have nothing to say to him.
Well, he likened you to an appeaser to Hitler in not voting through funding for Ukraine. Are you an appeaser for Putin?
I think that I really don't care what David Cameron has to say. I think that's rude name-calling, and I don't appreciate that type of language. And David Cameron needs to worry about his own country, and frankly, he can kiss my ass.
I think that all government is a waste of taxpayer money.